What if death wasn't really the end? What if someone you loved could stay with you forever, trapped inside a painting? And what if that painting wasn't holding the person you loved at all, but something far more terrifying? Tonight's story is about grief, obsession, and a dark ritual that should have never been performed. A ritual so dangerous that it opened a door between the living and the dead and unleashed a nightmare that refused to stay on the canvas. Trust me, by the end of this movie, you'll never look at a painting the same way again. Hi guys, welcome back to QuinMax, where every movie has a story beyond the screen. The movie begins with a man named Clive, whose wife, Anna, is hanging by a thread between life and death. Watching the woman he loves slowly fade away is breaking him apart from the inside. He can't accept losing her. He can't imagine a world without her. Desperate people often make desperate choices, and Clive is about to make the worst choice of his life. Determined to keep Anna with him forever, he decides to perform a mysterious and forbidden ritual known as the soul painting ritual. Back in the early 20th century, this ritual was surprisingly common. People believed that when a loved one died, their soul could be trapped inside a painting. The painting would then become a bridge between the living and the dead, allowing families to remain connected even after death. But over time, the practice disappeared. Most people believed it was nothing more than an old superstition. Others believed it was cursed. Clive lights the candles. He prepares the canvas. The room falls silent, and the ritual begins. Every second feels heavier than the last as he desperately waits for Anna's spirit to appear. But nothing happens. No voice, no sign, no miracle. Anna's soul never enters the painting. Heartbroken and defeated, Clive finally gives up and leaves the room. But something is still happening. Something impossible. The blank canvas suddenly begins to change on its own. Colors start spreading across the surface, as if an invisible hand is painting from another world. Brushstrokes appear out of nowhere. Shapes begin forming, and slowly, a horrifying image emerges. But it isn't Anna, not even close. The painting reveals a mysterious woman with an unnaturally beautiful face. At first glance, she almost looks angelic, but the longer you stare at her, the more disturbing she becomes. Her hands are twisted and monstrous. Her eyes glow in the darkness like those of a demon waiting patiently for its next victim. When Clive returns and sees the painting, terror floods through his body. Every instinct tells him that something is horribly wrong. He immediately tries to destroy it. He throws it into the fire. He watches the flames consume everything around it. But the painting refuses to burn. Not a single mark appears on its surface. It's as if the fire itself is afraid of touching it. Then something impossible happens. The woman inside the painting begins to move. A pale hand reaches out from the canvas. Then another. And before Clive can even react, the girl crawls out of the painting and violently attacks him. At the exact same moment, Anna suddenly opens her eyes. For a brief second, it almost feels like everything we've seen was just a nightmare. But it wasn't, because when we see Clive again, he's no longer the same man. His appearance has changed. His face looks twisted and unnatural. His smile is horrifying, and he starts laughing like someone who has completely lost his mind. A laugh that sends chills down your spine. Then the movie jumps forward 5 months. Now we're introduced to Anna's sister, Evelyn, and her family. Unlike Anna, they are struggling financially. Money is running out. Their business has collapsed. Debt keeps piling up, and every day feels harder than the last. Then one day, a letter arrives. A letter that changes everything. Inside is shocking news. Anna and her husband Clive are both dead. Just like that. Gone. But this isn't where the story ends. It's where the nightmare truly begins. Anna has left her entire estate to Evelyn. The mansion, the property, and $10,000 in cash. For a family drowning in debt, it sounds like a miracle. But there is one condition. They must move into Anna's house and live there. Without many options, Evelyn and her family accept. When they finally arrive at the enormous mansion, they are stunned. The place is beautiful, elegant, massive, but something about it feels wrong. The air feels heavy, the silence feels unnatural, and everywhere they look, there are paintings. Hundreds of paintings, covering the walls, watching from every corner, almost as if the house itself is observing them. And a terrifying question begins to form. Why are there so many paintings here? And could some of them be holding more than just paint? Could they be holding souls? But an even bigger question remains. Now that they've entered this house, will any of them make it out alive? Because this is only the beginning. The real game is about to start. Among all the paintings inside the mansion, one stands out immediately. It looks unusually fresh, almost as if someone painted it only hours ago. The colors are vivid, the details are flawless, and somehow it feels alive. But this isn't an ordinary painting. There's something hidden inside it, something dark, something that doesn't belong in our world. Because the painting contains a nude figure, Evelyn decides to have it moved into storage so her young daughter won't see it. That night, everyone goes to bed, but sleep doesn't come easily. Evelyn's daughter can't stop staring at the painting hanging in her room. The man inside the painting seems wrong. His eyes seem too real, too focused, as if he's staring directly at her, watching, waiting, never blinking. Fear begins creeping into her mind. She tries to remove the painting from the wall. She pulls. She struggles. She uses all her strength, but it won't move even an inch. Eventually, she gives up and goes to sleep. Or at least she tries to, because sometime during the night, something emerges from the darkness. A black hand slowly reaches out from inside the painting. Silent, patient, deadly, and before the girl can wake up, it cuts off a lock of her hair. Meanwhile, Evelyn's husband hears strange noises elsewhere in the house. Whispers, footsteps, the sound of someone moving in the darkness. He follows the noise and notices a shadow standing near a doorway. But the moment he opens the door, the shadow disappears, as if it was never there. The next morning, Evelyn's daughter discovers her missing hair. She's furious, certain that her little sister is responsible. An argument breaks out immediately, but the younger girl bursts into tears and insists she didn't do anything. Eventually, she's forced to apologize for something she never did. Life continues, at least on the surface, but the house isn't finished with them. Not even close. Later, while cleaning, Evelyn notices something strange in a mirror. For just a split second, it looks like something inside one of the paintings moved. Her heart skips a beat. She spins around instantly, but there's nothing there. No movement, no figure, nothing. She convinces herself that it was only her imagination. Then suddenly, she sees someone running through the house. A small child. At first, she assumes it's her youngest daughter. But when she looks again, her daughter is standing somewhere else entirely, playing, completely unaware. Evelyn freezes. If that wasn't her daughter, then who was it? Was there a hidden secret trapped inside the paintings? Or was something else living inside this house? Something unseen, something to watch. The mystery grows deeper, and the fear slowly spreads into every corner of the mansion. Soon Evelyn hears the sound of a child laughing again, then running. The sound echoes through the halls. Unable to ignore it, she follows the noise all the way down to the basement. Deep underground, she finds a closed cabin-like room. It looks as though a little girl just entered it moments ago. Evelyn slowly opens the door. Her hands trembled. Her breathing was shallow. But when she looks inside, the room is completely empty. No child, no footprints, nothing. And yet she knows she heard someone. That night, things became even more terrifying. Still frightened by the painting, Evelyn's daughter covers it with a cloth before going to sleep. She hopes that if she can't see it, maybe it can't see her either. But around midnight, she suddenly wakes up. A cold feeling crawls across her skin. Then she feels something touching her hair, cutting it. Again, panicking, she sits upright in bed. And that's when she notices the covered painting. The cloth is moving, slowly, gently, as if something behind it is breathing, as if something is trying to come out. Terrified beyond words, she runs to hide inside her closet. But seconds later, the shadow follows her. The closet door creaks open, and the spirit attacks. Its invisible hands grab her hair and begin cutting it again. This time she screams, a blood-curdling scream that echoes throughout the mansion. The entire family rushes into the room, shaking with fear. The girl tells them everything she has seen, everything she has experienced, but her father doesn't believe a word of it. After all, how could something possibly come out of a painting? How could a spirit walk through canvas and enter the real world? But the truth is far more terrifying, because what if she isn't imagining any of it? What if something evil is actually living inside this house? And what if the paintings aren't decorations at all, but prison cells holding things that were never meant to escape? As the family searches for answers, they are about to uncover a horrifying secret hidden within the mansion's walls. A secret that will turn their lives into a living nightmare. And this is where another horrifying chapter of the story begins. Following Kay's suggestion, the mysterious painting is carefully moved and stored inside the antique room. Evelyn desperately wants to tell her husband about the disturbing events she witnessed earlier that morning. She wants to explain everything. The strange noises, the unsettling feelings, the growing fear that's been consuming her. But one look at Adam's frustrated expression makes her stay silent. As night falls over the mansion, the darkness seems heavier than before. Once again, Adam begins hearing strange whispers echoing through the halls. Soft voices, unclear words, almost as if someone or something was trying to communicate with him from the shadows. Unable to ignore them, he steps outside to investigate. The movie never clearly reveals what he sees, but moments later, Adam suddenly wakes up. He finds himself standing inside the antique room, and directly in front of him sits the same terrifying painting. The same painting that has been haunting their lives. This time, its eyes appear different. They aren't normal anymore. They're glowing, shining with a sinister light that resembles the eyes of a demon watching its prey. Fear instantly grips Adam's chest. His heart pounds violently as he rushes toward the window and throws it open. Moonlight floods the room, and just like that, the painting looks normal again, as if nothing had happened, as if the terrifying transformation existed only in his imagination. But Adam knows what he saw, and for the first time, he becomes genuinely afraid of the painting. Panicking, he grabs a large cloth and tightly wraps it around the frame, covering every inch of it before securing it shut. By morning, Evelyn returns to the room where the painting had terrified her the previous night. But something is wrong. The painting is gone, completely gone, and in its place rests a strange ring and an old mysterious book, a ritual book. Its worn pages seem ancient, as if they've survived generations of darkness. Curious and concerned, Evelyn picks up the book and keeps it with her. That night, something even stranger happens. Adam notices the same painting hanging from a chair, gently swaying back and forth. There is no wind. Nothing should be moving. Yet the painting rocks slowly on its own. Adam carefully approaches it, but the moment he gets close, the painting vanishes, gone, as though it never existed. Later that night, Evelyn hears something else. The sound of tiny footsteps. A little girl running somewhere inside the mansion. The sound is clear, real, without hesitation. She follows it through the dark corridors, and then she sees something impossible. The little girl runs directly into one of the paintings, not behind it, not past it, into it, as if the canvas were a doorway to another world. A chill shoots through Evelyn's entire body. Gathering every ounce of courage she has left, she shines her flashlight onto the painting. But now it looks completely normal. Nothing unusual, nothing supernatural, just an ordinary painting. Then suddenly, the little girl emerges from inside it, right before Evelyn's eyes. The frightened child stares at her desperately. "Find her," the girl whispers. "Please, find her." Before Evelyn can ask another question, she glances back at the painting, and it's empty. The image inside has completely disappeared. Determined to understand what is happening, Evelyn follows the little girl. The child leads her deeper into the mansion, closer and closer to the basement. Then, without warning, the girl shoves Evelyn down the stairs. Evelyn crashes violently into the darkness below. Dazed and terrified, she slowly lifts her head, and that's when she sees another painting hanging on the basement wall, a painting she has never seen before. As she stares at it, something horrifying happens. A terrifying woman begins emerging from the canvas, step by step, slowly crawling out from the painting itself. Her appearance is monstrous. Her presence feels evil. Evelyn freezes in absolute terror, but in the next instant, the woman disappears, as if she was never there. Meanwhile, strange events are unfolding upstairs. Inside their son's bedroom, something begins moving in the darkness. The boy senses it immediately. He opens his eyes, and what he sees nearly stops his heart. The painting hanging in his room is melting, slowly, like flesh dissolving under intense heat. Terrified, he cautiously approaches it, but before he can react, the painting grabs him and pulls him inside. His screams echo throughout the mansion. The entire family rushes into the room. Working together, they desperately pull their son back out of the painting before it's too late. Now there is no denying the truth. This mansion isn't normal. Something evil lives here. Something ancient. Something hungry. Then Adam suddenly realizes something terrifying. Everyone is here, except Evelyn. Panic immediately takes over. He races toward the basement. There he finds Evelyn trembling with fear. Her face is pale. Her hands are shaking uncontrollably. Looking directly into Adam's eyes, she whispers, "We have to leave, right now. This house isn't meant for us." For once, nobody argues. Nobody questions her. Without wasting another second, the family packs their belongings in the middle of the night and abandons the cursed mansion forever. Or at least, that's what they think, because the real nightmare is only beginning. Even after returning home, Evelyn couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. Strange noises echoed through the house. Shadows seemed to move when nobody was there. Every corner felt colder than before. It was as if something had followed them back from that cursed mansion. Trying to make sense of everything, Evelyn tells Adam about the rumors surrounding Anna's death. According to local stories, Anna hadn't died naturally at all. She had been murdered. But that raised an even more terrifying question. If Anna had truly been murdered, was her spirit still searching for justice? Or worse, was it now hunting them? What Evelyn discovers next is even more horrifying. A chilling thought suddenly enters her mind. What if, on the very night Anna died, her husband had tried to expose a dark secret? What if he knew something he was never supposed to know? And what if that secret cost Anna her life? The moment this thought crosses her mind, she remembers the mysterious painting book she brought back with her. Her hands tremble as she opens it once again. Flipping through the yellowed pages, she notices an address written inside. Believing it may finally reveal the truth, she immediately decides to visit the location. Meanwhile, back at home, her two daughters are playing together, completely unaware that something evil has already entered the house. Suddenly, the spirit of a little girl appears nearby. At first glance, she seems harmless, just a lonely child looking for someone to play with. But appearances can be dangerously deceptive, because this wasn't a child at all. It was the same terrifying woman, hiding behind an innocent face. Slowly, she begins luring Evelyn's younger daughter closer, inviting her to play. Every step the child takes brings her closer to unimaginable danger. Just before the spirit can reach her, the older sister notices something is wrong and pulls her away. And that's when they see it, the horrifying painting. Somehow, it has appeared inside their house. The story now leads us to the woman who originally owned the mysterious book. She takes Evelyn into a hidden room, unlike anything she has ever seen before. The walls are covered from floor to ceiling with strange paintings. Dozens of them, maybe hundreds. Each one feels alive. The woman then reveals a terrifying truth. These aren't ordinary paintings. Every single one contains a trapped human soul. According to ancient rituals described in the book, spirits could be bound inside paintings after death. Families used this ritual to remain connected with their loved ones forever. But there was a horrifying consequence. The ritual didn't only attract good spirits, it also opened the door for something much darker, something evil, something hungry. Over time, dangerous entities began using these paintings as gateways into the world of the living. The ritual became so dangerous that it was officially banned during the 1920s. Since then, these cursed paintings had remained hidden away, but Evelyn quickly realizes something terrifying. The painting they encountered wasn't one of the originals, which meant only one thing. Someone had recently performed the forbidden ritual again. Someone had brought the curse back, and we already know who that person was. Clive, but his family had absolutely no idea what he had unleashed. As the mystery deepens, Adam begins researching the horrifying woman connected to the painting. Eventually, he discovers her name, Skinara, and the information he uncovers sends chills down his spine. After her death, a long chain of mysterious murders and unexplained suicides followed wherever her story appeared. Entire families vanished. People disappeared without a trace. Even members of her own bloodline suffered terrible fates. Then comes the shocking revelation. Skinara's family was connected to Frank's family, the very same family that owned the mansion, which meant the mansion wasn't simply haunted. It had been cursed for generations. And now that Evelyn and Adam had become part of the story, the curse belonged to them too. There was only one way to stop this nightmare. They had to return to the mansion and destroy the source once and for all. Adam attempts to burn the painting, but nothing happens. The flames don't damage it, not even a little. It is as if the painting itself refuses to die. Then Evelyn discovers another clue hidden inside the book. Tio break the curse. They need an object that once belonged to Skinara herself. Suddenly, Evelyn remembers an old storage room inside the mansion. Perhaps something valuable was still hidden there. That very night, they return to the cursed house. Adam's mission is to restore and prepare the painting. Evelyn's task is far worse. She must enter the basement, the place where the most dangerous spirits dwell. As she descends into the darkness, an eerie silence surrounds her. The paintings hanging in the basement are completely blank. Every single one, which can mean only one thing. The souls that once lived inside them are now wandering free. Somewhere nearby, watching, waiting, as Evelyn tries opening an old locked box. She realizes it requires a key. Then suddenly, a key lands beside her, thrown by someone she cannot see. Against her better judgment, she picks it up. The box opens. Inside are old letters and an antique locket. The moment she touches them, terrifying visions flood her mind. Fragments of Skinara's life flash before her eyes. At the exact same moment, spirits begin pouring out of every painting throughout the mansion. Ghostly figures float through the air like a storm of trapped souls, finally breaking free. Adam rushes downstairs to save her. Together, they drag the cursed paintings outside and set them on fire. But the nightmare isn't over, because as the paintings burn, a blank canvas inside their own home begins painting itself. And slowly, Skinara's face reappears. Then something even worse happens. Skinara emerges from the painting and enters their son's bedroom. Within seconds, she possesses him. Now under her control, the boy turns toward his younger sister. His eyes are empty, cold, murderous. He slowly lifts her into his arms, preparing to kill her. Thankfully, the older sister witnesses everything and intervenes. At the same time, while driving home, Adam reveals something horrifying to Evelyn. Skinara had tried possessing him too. The confession leaves both of them terrified. When they finally reach home, their older daughter reveals the horrifying truth. Their son has locked himself inside a room with his little sister. Adam smashes through the door, and what he sees freezes his blood. His son is moments away from murdering her. Now there is no more running, no more hiding. The spirit must be stopped. Adam orders the older daughter to take her sister and leave the house immediately. No matter what happens, they must not return until morning. With no other choice left, Adam and Evelyn begin preparing the ritual that could trap Skinara back inside the canvas forever. Then Evelyn notices something disturbing. The canvas is blank, which means Skinara's spirit is still outside, still free. But where? Inside their son, or somewhere else entirely. The room is sealed shut. Lights illuminate the ritual chamber. The cursed painting is placed before the canvas. As the cloth covering it is removed, everyone freezes in horror. The canvas is no longer empty. A painting has already appeared, as if it painted itself, as if the curse had a life of its own. Then a voice echoes through the room. This curse cannot end that easily. There is only one way. Skinara's husband's soul must be imprisoned inside the painting. The story now shifts into the past. Skinara was once one of the most beautiful women of her era. Her husband belonged to a wealthy family that practiced a forbidden painting ritual. According to legend, those who mastered it could achieve a form of immortality. When Skinara became gravely ill at only 29 years old, she begged her husband for one final promise. "If I die, place my soul inside a painting, so I can stay with you forever." Before dying, she gave him her necklace. After her death, her spirit was successfully bound to the painting. But there was a secret, a devastating secret. Skinara made her husband promise that after his death, he would join her inside the painting. But he never kept that promise. Instead, he moved on with his life and hid the painting deep inside the basement. That betrayal changed everything. Consumed by rage, loneliness, and heartbreak, Skinara's spirit transformed into something monstrous. Dark forces took hold of her soul, and she unleashed her vengeance upon the entire family. One by one, they died, disappeared, or suffered unimaginable tragedies. She targeted wives and mothers throughout the bloodline. Just as she killed Anna, she destroyed countless others. Back in the present, Adam and Evelyn attempt to trap her husband's spirit inside the painting. But there is one problem. A soul can only enter willingly. Then comes the most shocking revelation in the entire movie. Adam confesses something unbelievable. The night Skinara attacked him, she appeared before him, and somehow an intimate supernatural connection occurred between them. Evelyn is devastated, heartbroken, shattered, but Adam continues speaking. "Please, don't hate me after I'm gone." Then, in a tragic act of sacrifice, he takes his own life. As he dies, he throws his lighter toward the painting, allowing his soul to become trapped alongside Skinara. For a moment, it seems over. Skinara and Adam are now imprisoned forever. But the nightmare delivers one final twist. Skinara is still alive because she remains inside their son. The possessed boy attacks Evelyn. At the same time, he tries reaching for Adam's lighter, hoping to prevent the ritual from fully succeeding. Everything appears lost. Then suddenly, the older daughter returns, ignoring her parents' instructions. Without hesitation, she grabs the lighter and sets the painting ablaze. This time, the fire works. The painting burns. The curse begins collapsing. Their son falls to the ground and returns to normal. The canvas crumbles into ash. Skinara's spirit vanishes. Adam's soul disappears with her. And finally, peace returns. Or does it? Because just when it seems everything is over, the camera slowly moves toward another painting hidden in the shadows. A painting of a mysterious man, waiting, watching, silent, which raises one final terrifying question. Was the ritual truly destroyed? Or is the evil simply waiting for its next victim? And that's where the story ends, leaving us with a chilling thought. Sometimes evil doesn't die. Sometimes it only changes its face. What this movie actually teaches us that secrets buried in the past never stay buried forever. Obsession, betrayal, and broken promises can create wounds that survive long after death itself. And sometimes the most dangerous monsters aren't ghosts. They're the consequences of the choices we make. And that's a wrap. If you enjoyed this movie explanation, make sure to subscribe to QuinMax. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.